Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talking Reds. And I want to know in this episode what three positions Liverpool need to target, whether it's in January or next summer. First, which is their priority places in our in our team need strengthening the most. People will want a left back, people want a centre back, a DM, striker, right winger. Um, does this all depend on the contracts of the three major contracts? Obviously, Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent as well. Does that influence our priority signings, or doesn't it? I want you guys to let me know in the comments as well. Where do you see a priority lie for Liverpool right now in terms of transfers? And will we address these transfers properly? Will we make sure all these issues, what we do have, are solved in that specific time period of January and next summer in terms of transfer windows? For me, right, top three is a hard one because if Salah leaves, we definitely need a right winger. If Van Dijk, I think we already need a centre back, regardless of Van Dijk leaving. We need a centre back to back up Van Dijk and then potentially replace him at some point. But if Van Dijk leaves, then that becomes an absolute priority. My priority in the summer, and still is right now, is a DM. I think in terms of first team, I'm thinking a team right now because we've still got Salah, we've still got Van Dijk. Roberts is dropping off at left back, but it's all right. It's better than not having no one there. I still think our main priority right now is a DM. A defensive minded midfielder to allow Gravenberch to do a little bit more going forward and push McAllister forward possibly as well. Because Gravenberch is still filling in a hole right now and he's looking tired. He's starting to look a bit tired. He's starting to get a bit leggy with that. It is a new role to him. But I don't want him, because he has adapted to himself into that role, it doesn't mean I want him to stay as that role right now. I'd rather someone like Azoub Mendy come in to give Gravenberch more opportunity to go forward. Where see the best of Gravenberch. I think we haven't seen the best of Gravenberch yet, because the best of Gravenberch for me is driving forward a lot more than what he is doing right now. So yeah, right now I think a DM is absolutely vital. But if we're going into summer, this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets a bit techie. If we're going into summer and we lose Van Dijk for free, then that becomes priority above DM. Because Gravenberch can slot there, because McAllister can slot there. We should be doing both, by the way. We should, if Van Dijk were to leave, we should be getting a DM and a centre back. Not under FSG, that ain't going to happen. So centre back needs to be prioritised because of the Van Dijk loss. I don't think Van Dijk will go, but I'm just, this is hypothetical, but it's a possibility. And if that possibility becomes the truth, becomes reality, then it's going to be a big summer, like probably even bigger than last summer and the summer before when we need a new midfield, because we can't allow this to happen. I don't think we can allow these players to go, because if we're having to replace, when we haven't got a DM yet and we haven't got addressed the centre back already, we haven't addressed the left back position, we haven't addressed Salah's replacement at some point. And another position as well that's going to be up for debate is striker, because Nunes isn't doing anything and Jota is always out. So strikers going to be another debate right now as well. So there's so many positions. This is why I'm doing this episode. There's so many positions that need to be looked at. Despite us being top of the league, we are top of the league, and we can enjoy being top of the league. But we've got to be honest with ourselves that we've got to look at the future as well, and start looking at these positions and start addressing these positions. So Slot has a good chance of winning the league next season and the season after. And we still might not win the league this season. We are top right now, but it still might not end that way. So if we don't win the league or the Champions League this season, and we lose these players, or we're not addressing these certain areas next season, we're going to be looking again like as another season where we might not win it again. And Slot won't want that, and Liverpool fans won't want that. We don't want to go into season thinking we should be challenging for titles, challenging for leagues and Champions Leagues, which we are doing right now. Hopefully, we keep that up and keep into these title challenges and these Champions League challenges, which we are doing now. But keep that consistency up to the end of the season. A drop off would be massive in terms of this season, but I'm thinking next season and even this season. Really, I think we still need a DM in this season. I think I'd go into January now and go get a DM, whether it be Zubimendi. If Zubimendi don't want to come, then go out there and look for someone else. Don't wait around for he might not ever come unless he's given assurances that he will come, like Van Dijk did. Then don't wait around for someone that might not come. Go address what needs addressing and go win this league this season because we've got a perfect opportunity to do so. So DM right now is priority, but if Van Dijk was to leave in the summer and we still haven't got a DM, then centre back needs to be priority. Behind that, as a centre back DM, this is where the trickiness comes now, because if Salah goes, then that instantly becomes a priority as well. I know we've got Chiesa coming there, but again, cases like Jota, where if he's ever fit, it's good enough for him being there if he's fit. But it's we need him available all the time, really. Especially Salah's, especially when you play Salah, because Salah's available most of the time. He's rarely injured. He got a little bit injured last season during AFCON and things, but he's rarely injured. So to replace Salah with someone that is injury prone, that's not a good idea either. So it all depends on his contracts, because if obviously it's going to be a top. This is a three position prioritize here I'm doing in this episode. So if like Van Dijk and Salah were to leave, then instantly centre back, right wing become priorities. Obviously they become priorities, but I still think we need a DM. But then you're looking at left back, because Robbo has dropped off massively. He's dropped off massively. And Tsimikas is not. He never does enough to keep his position. He never does enough to. He did at the start when he came in. He was sensational. He took over Robbo for me at one point, and he kept Robbo on his toes. Then Robbo started to improve his game, and it obviously took his place back. But now Robbo's dropped off, and I can't see him coming back again properly. He might have like 1 or 2 games where he's sensational, like he did against Man City, for example. But I don't think he'll do it consistently enough now to be the main left back going forward. So like that's why you're getting linked with people like Kirkies, Aït-Nouri, Robinson. Will get linked with these players all the time now, because everyone can see that Robbo's dropped off, and we probably will look at a left back. Will it be a priority? This is the thing. It all depends on them contracts. For me, if we if they were all free to sign on, like especially if Salah and Van Dijk signed on to Liverpool extended, I think left back becomes one of the priorities. Then it becomes like alongside I'd say DM left back, and potentially like a backup to Van Dijk for centre back. But it's hard not to say it should be a priority though, because it'd be madness if we lost all those 3, right, and go into next season needing like 3 or 4, 5 positions. We're not going to be sorting those out. There's not a chance, and that is going to be. This is what I'm saying about making sure as we're proactive the season before, and we're not reactive to people leaving or people getting injured. Otherwise, it bites you in the ass. It's bitten in the ass so many times, but people fail to see what's going on for some reason. It's happened over and over again. But yeah, I would prioritise left back if those 2 were staying on, definitely. If those 2 were definitely staying on. And then the other position is striker. As I said, Nunes is not doing anything at the moment. Nunes is not scoring goals. He's not creating anything. He's not. I did the stats episode on him, and his passing stats are just as bad as his shooting stats. So if he's not scoring, he's got to be doing something else. But he's not. He's doing like defensive work. He's getting back and getting involved, but that's not what we need him for. I like that he gets involved and be passionate and things like that, but he needs to do more going forward. And Diego Jota obviously is the slotter. He's one of the best finishers we've had at the club in the last 10 years, but he's never available. And we all warned of this in the summer. And they were talking this summer. I know there were a lot of Liverpool fans like myself saying we need a striker going forward. That should be looked at some point, a striker going forward, because we predicted what's going to happen. Nunes ain't going to score the goals, and Jota is going to get injured. This is just the norm right now. So and Liverpool and strikers going past over the years, like your Owen Fowlers, Firmino, Torres, Suarez, Daniel Sturridge, for example, they're all world class strikers that Liverpool have always had as their focal point. And when we hadn't had that, when in between those strikers, in between those world class strikers we've pretty much had awful strikers. We've never really had in between. I want to say Barros is probably a player that's in between. He's nowhere near world class, but I'm saying he's in between like Donkey and a world class player. He's somewhere in between in that big thing. But so most of the time we've actually either like world class striker or Donkey. It makes no sense. Like Voronin, for example, or no offense to David Ngo, but David Ngo, these players that we had, even Morientes when he came in wasn't the Morientes at Real Madrid. He was pretty much nothing. Again with Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane was nothing at Liverpool. This sensational player for Tottenham and Ireland. And when we bought him, he was a shadow of Robbie Keane. I won't use the word donkey on Robbie Keane, though, because he's a sensational player. Definitely not a donkey. But he was a shadow of himself at Liverpool. Andy Carroll, the same. Shadow of himself. Benteke, the same. Benteke was a shadow of himself. He wasn't a donkey, but he was an absolute shadow of himself at Liverpool. He wasn't the same. Balotelli, the same. Barini, all these strikers that we've had. We've either had a world-class striker or someone that's just not good enough, or not good enough playing for Liverpool. And that's not acceptable. And I think that's what Núñez is right now. There will be people out there who will call him a donkey, but I just don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. Not from the standard that we set what we should set as Liverpool fans and Liverpool Football Club should set. We should have a Torres level striker. We should have a Suarez level striker up front. And if Mohamed Salah were to go, going on people leaving, look at all the goals we're leaving. But I have to get the goals from somewhere else. You Gakpo and Diaz chipping a lot, but they don't score Salah level goals. They don't get his numbers. Their numbers need replacing. So either you get a right winger that replaces Salah's numbers, or you get a fucking deadly number 9. There's no way Núñez is getting Salah numbers. Jota possibly could get Salah numbers in terms of goals if he were fit enough, but he's never fit enough to do that. He don't play enough games to do that. So if Salah was to leave, then would striker become a priority then for Liverpool because of the lack of goals we're losing? The goals we're losing. There's plenty of them out there. Plenty of strikers out there that'll do your job. John Duran, for me, is a sensational player for Villa, and he's been back up for Valley Watkins. It's a perfect opportunity for us to take advantage of that. And we might get him cheaper because he is back up, if that makes sense. I don't think we'll get him cheap, but he's proven in the Premier League. He's proven in the Champions League. He's a fucking sensational forward. And there's plenty out there. Alexander Isak again at Newcastle. We played him the other night, and I said it the other day. He seems to be like a complete striker on the ball, on the floor. He loses out an aerial thing, but I'm not too bothered about the aerial stuff. It's on the floor. He's a sensational player. He comes back, receives the ball, gets involved in the build-up play, allows his wingers to run behind him and gets assists for them and allows them to get some goals as well. Like Diaz and whoever else on the right wing, they get a lot of goals with Isaac up front because of the way he plays. But he don't just drop back as well either. He's the one that's on the last man sometimes that gets in behind and gets goals himself. You've seen how clinical he is. He's very, very clinical, like Alexander Isak. So should we go out and prioritise someone like that? If Salah to go, possibly, because of the goals that we're going to be lacking. Gakpo and Diaz do score a lot, but they're nowhere near Salah numbers, and that's what we need. We need a striker that can do that to keep up with the rest of them. So it's crazy, really, how, despite us being top of the Champions League and top of the league, it's crazy how things could easily fall off if we don't buy players, if we don't address certain situations. Even if we were to sign Salah and signed Van Dijk on, would still at some point need to replace them. We still need the right wing at some point. We still need the centre back at some point. I'd prefer them to come in and play underneath them, and then eventually take over them properly. Learn from them like a year or two, and then sort of take over them when they are phased out, because they will be phased out at some point. But then we also need a striker if Nunes don't pick up and Jota remains unavailable all the time. A left back is needed because Robbo's dropping off, and a DM's needed because Gravenberch isn't really a DM. He's doing a good job there, but he's not a DM. So really, potentially, we need 5. Next summer, potentially, we could need 5 first-team players. And that sounds mad. It sounds mad because we are top of the league. We're top of the Champions League. It's looking really good right now. But if we lose these 3, well, I'm not saying Trent because at least Conor Bradley's there. But if we lose Salah and Van Dijk, the next summer's it's not just important, but it's vital to keep Slot happy, I think, because if he's losing those 2 players, already needing 2 or 3 positions already, there's no way under this ownership we address 5 positions. Not a chance. So we can guarantee right now we're going into next season short. Even if those 2 sign, I still think we're going to next season short. I don't think we sign a DM and a left back and potentially a striker if Nunes doesn't pick up. But if Salah and Van Dijk were to leave as well, next season's not, and the foreseeable, not just like season after, the short-term future, certainly, it might not look good for Liverpool because under this ownership, we're not going to be signing 5 players that need to be signed. Despite how much money we save from contracts or whatever, because we save money all the time, but we still don't see it. But right now, my mind, I'm going to do it like if we sign Van Dijk and Salah for definite, I'm like Trent thing. I want to sign Trent, obviously, best right back in the world, but it's a less kill of a blow if he goes because of Bradley's behind him in terms of replacing him. He's already replaced their player at the club, but Salah and Van Dijk are going to be irreplaceable. So if them 2 were to stay, our priorities for transfers, our 3 priorities, because this is the episode, I've got to choose 3, would be DM, left back, and do I say a centre back to back up Van Dijk? Or do I get to say a striker? If Nunes don't pick up, striker. If Nunes don't pick up, striker. Because we need a striker. But if Nunes does pick up and Jota becomes more available, then a backup centre back for Van Dijk. And that I'm on like it's like on par those 2. A centre back. It all depends on Nunes and Jota for me. But on the other hand, if Salah and Van Dijk were to leave, then priority needs to be a right winger, a centre back, and a DM. But I'm saying DM there, but would I have got a striker to back up the Salah thing? This is what I'm saying. I just thought about that then. If I still really think we need a DM. That right winger needs to score goals. Whoever replaces Salah needs to score goals. If the others don't, but yeah, I would still put a DM as 3rd if those 2 were to leave. Priority for me. What is your thoughts on that situation? Are you? I know we're top of the league right now, and we're top of the Champions League. We're really enjoying it right now, and it's looking fantastic. Arne Slot's changed everything right now. He's given me so much hope as a Liverpool fan. I'm absolutely loving it. But are you still worried about the near future? Are you still worried about the long future of Liverpool, especially if those 3 leave? What does it say about next season, and what does it say about transfers, and how do we replace those while still needing to replace other places or addressing other issues as well? So what's your thoughts? Get in the comments. Please like this video. If you like this sort of content, let me know. Tell me what content you like as well. Liverpool fans, get involved. If a rival fan, come on, we do a tackle and rival show as well on this channel. There's all sorts of content on this channel. Trying to keep it fresh for you guys at home and try to keep it entertaining. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.